Welcome back to my YouTube channel, you guys. So I left off my last video with saying, in addressing the person who commented, are you a braider or a preacher? And all I'm saying is, it is so vitally important to live from the deepest, most authentic part of yourself. And if me allowing myself to be greater in whatever aspect of life that the higher power encourages me to, my goal in this life is to walk in that, period. Walk in that. And so I am just strongly urging the person who left that comment to feel full of excitement, feel full of eagerness, feel full of openness, and be able to receive whatever God plants in your heart and whatever talents and gifts that God has given you that you probably don't even know you have. You probably don't even know you are aware. I mean, you probably don't even know that you have these gifts. You probably are so unaware that you have these amazing gifts that was gifted to you by God. And the only way to know that you have these gifts is by learning yourself. So, if you see me on here talking positive, speaking my truths and speaking what God put on my heart to speak, and if it offends you, please be willing to don't watch my videos. Everybody got that choice. Everybody got that choice. And I'm saying that with all the love in me because if it's not for you and I'm not for you, I'm just not for you. And that's okay. I have accepted that I am not for everybody. People I know and people I don't know. And I'm okay with that. However, it is extremely important to live in your fullestness, in your fullness, to the fullest, period. I love every aspect of who I am, and so it encourages me to be more. It encourages me to be the light. It encourages me to seek the light. And so I will continue to seek the light, be the light, and really, truly embody all of me, which is light, you know? And I'm not even speaking that in the most lowest vibration. I'm speaking it in the most highest vibration. Because when you're speaking in a high vibration, it's connected to God. It's connected to your soul. When you speak in a low vibration, it's connected to the ego. It's connected to making people feel less than. And that is not the energy I'm moving in currently in my life. So, anyway, this video is to encourage the people who are afraid to live in their authentic self. This is the video to encourage people. This is a video that is meant to encourage people to live in their most authentic self. Even if it's fear near. Even if you're afraid to do so. It is important to embody who God created you to be. If you don't embody who God created you to be, how would you ever accept yourself in its fullness? I'm talking about the imperfections, the perfections, the things that you look at yourself and you say, I will never ever accept myself in that way. It's just a mere reflection of how other people may not accept you too. And that's just the truth. When you learn to accept yourself as you are, as God made you to be, and you are willing to move in that energy, you will attract people who are the same. You attract the same energy. You attract the love. You'll attract authenticness from people. And that's what we really want. We don't want to be moving and living in falseness and fakeness. We want to be embodying a real energy, how we truly feel at the core of situations. But ultimately, at the same time, embodying love, hands down. Because everything is love. Everything is love. Everything is light. And let me add a little cherry on top. We are also dark. So where there is light, there is dark. Where there is above, there is a low. Where there is an inner, there is an outer. And that's just the duality that we're living in on this plane. We are living in duality. No matter if we want to see it that way or not, you can't remove it from how you're living. And I'm just saying, because you gotta think about it. If you're going through the most toughest situation in your life, and this is in general. In general, if you're going through the most toughest situation in your life, the number one thing that we really run and do is pray. That's light. The toughest situation is part of dark. It's part of being in the lowest vibration. And that's okay. This is what we're here for. We're here to literally learn how to live and survive, more than just survive. Live extremely at the most highest vibration in between going through what we go through and also living life from the most highest vibration. So ultimately, that's just living, learning to live in between the ebb and flow of the darkness and the lightness. Learning to look at life from a spiritual standpoint and also a physical standpoint. Learning to truly dial into and anchor into the things that's going to serve you in the moment in which your emotions is erupted, in the moment in which you are sitting and bawling and crying and surrendering to to the most spiritualist form around you and in you. And that's when you are really allowing God to come inside of your situation, inside of your heart, inside of your mind, and hug you in the midst of your tears and let you know that you are not riding this wave alone. You are not riding this wave alone. You are literally riding this wave with a spiritual being that you can't even see. To tap into a deeper awareness and a deeper, profound way of looking at the whole thing is you have people that live across the world from you or on the other side of the world that literally practice tapping into the energy of their ancestors. And if you know, you know. Ancestors carry a huge amount of energy that still is around. Energy never dies. Energy never dies. So you are living this life, and how do you think you came about? Literally, let's do the research on this. Let's do the math on this. How do you think you came about? You had a whole family history that was here that still is alive, well, and I mean that in a spiritual way, because their life is gone, but their energy is still present. That's because energy never dies. Excuse me, energy never dies. So you have to. I feel like as a culture, somewhere along the lines of being, growing, and existing, our whole identity was caught up and lost in a plethora of things that took place. And in order to truly get back to where who you truly are, who you truly are, and what you identify to be. And it's simple. It's the most simplest thing. Because once you identify with being love, light, compassion, and you are embodying these energies, these high vibrational energies, you are truly allowing yourself to detach and disconnect from any negative form, any negative thought form, any negative feeling, any negative emotion that makes you feel less than, that makes you feel broken, that makes you feel broke, that makes you feel extremely connected to a lack mentality. You would disconnect from that type of energy. And you allow yourself to connect to a brighter side of looking at things, a more optimistic way of life. Because for some reason, we feel like we're supposed to be connected to pessimism and to complaining and to being in an aggressive state of mind and being aggressive with people who don't even deserve it, lashing out, being angry. You know what I'm saying? And there's so many things that play a part in that. But ultimately, it's the lack of being so dialed into yourself, learning how to master yourself. This is where self love is truly embedded at when you truly start applying all the things that encompasses self love. Because self love is a broad range of things that you could do to truly start treating yourself great, treating yourself special, treating yourself with honor. And when I say treating yourself with honor, treating yourself with ultimate treatment. Everything that you know, was told. Because, we are conditioned to believing and thinking and being and living and existing the way we do. We are conditioned in that aspect. Her earrings is pretty, ain't they? I know. We are conditioned from our own history But you have the opportunity and the power within you to recondition the whole form of what you see when you look in the mirror, the whole reflection of what you see when you look in the mirror. Ultimately, you have the power to recondition your state of mind, your belief system, your inner system, your inner heart. And when I say that, I mean your the way you think from here, the way you live from here. And once you believe that you can do that, anything is possible. Anything is possible, babes. Because I'm saying we only live our life from the plateau and the belief systems and the conditioning and all the things. And ultimately, a lot of us are so confused because we don't even know where we belong. We only know that we came from our moms and our fathers. We don't know the whole entire history of our culture. And this is where we all get confused at. We forget that we was queens. We forget that we was kings. And ultimately, that which and the words that are higher than a king, the words that are higher than a queen, is empress, it's emperor. We were in that energy. We were literal kings and queens out here. And as long as we live our life disconnected from royalty, how can you be something that you don't believe you are? Once you believe that you are a queen, that you are an emperor, an empress, or emperor, or a king. Once you believe and you walk in that, you talk in that, you treat yourself with royalty like you come from a royal place. Once you honor who you are, you're halfway, you're closer to being who you truly are than you are far apart by treating your own self. And I'm speaking specifically about self because how you treat somebody else is literally a replica of how you treat yourself. So this is why I always turn everything inward. When I find myself confused, when I find myself in any form of disarray, I literally have to come on back home. Come back home to self and to check me and to look myself in the mirror and to see where is the error at in the way that I treat myself. Truly, truly. Because it's impossible to honor yourself if you don't even know what that is. You don't even know what that means. You don't even know what that look like, right? And aiming at treating yourself with love, with kindness, with compassion, with just lighting the candle and saying a prayer for yourself. Everything starts at home and spreads abroad. My mom said this to me all my life. Everything starts at home and spreads abroad. She always was meaning it in a physical place, in a physical way. Me, I'm a deep one. I go deeper from the surface, and so I take those words and I apply that to me as a person, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I apply that to me. How am I truly treating my home? How am I truly treating my home, my space? How? How am I building a better relationship with myself, no matter if I fail and get back up, fall and get back up? Always finding myself in the space of starting and restarting, starting and restarting. I promise myself if I have to keep starting and restarting over and over again until I get past that, the form of me that I feel that's limited, that is making me feel incapable of going beyond a certain point, I will continuously restart and start all over again and to keep doing it until I get it together. And this is why we are gifted with the present. This is why we are given the greatest gift of all is to be able to start again, something fresh, something anew, because we continuously fail ourselves if we don't take full stock of what opportunities we have around us, what blessings we have that completely embodies us every single day. You only could be on the outside from the inside of you as you believe. You only can speak what lives inside of you, what you believe, what your values are. All of that radiates from you naturally because you only can be what you believe. You only can help people from a greater part of you if you believe you can. And you can't serve nothing more, nothing less, because if you can't believe it, you can't go higher than your beliefs. Your beliefs are an integral part of who you are. It is anchored to your soul system. It is anchored to your DNA. And if you happen to not like where you are and you happen to not connect to where you are to the point where you don't want to be alive anymore, there's something you can do in a moment. There's something you can do. You can truly drop all the identities to which you identify yourself with, because sometimes what we identify ourselves with and who we identify ourselves to be is connected to the life that we're living. You can re-identify yourself with something greater. You have so much control in a moment you don't even know. You're allowing your emotions to take you away from what you have in the present moment. You are allowing your thoughts to interfere and distract you from something you could be creating in a moment. Something that lives within you. Something that you can believe that you can become. And as long as you can believe you can become it, it's already done. It's already done. It is done. It is done unto you as you believe. It is done. It is only done unto you as you believe. I'm just saying, a lot of people are walking around living life and truly not living. Just merely pulling themselves to get out of bed and touch the floor in the morning. Really. Merely pulling themselves to the table, not even wanting to be in the most weakened vessel. Confused. Living in strong disillusionment. Not knowing that they have control over their own life. They have full control over their own thoughts, their own life. It's all up to you. It's up to you to take your life by the hand via the mind, via the action steps, via the willingness, via accepting the fact that you have will. You have the will. You have the will to will your mind into a great mental state, unless you are in the midst of a strong spiritual warfare due by karmic reasons, because it is what we do in this world, on this physical plane, that holds strong energetic frequency, literal strong energetic frequency that is connected to what we do, how we treat people, how we speak to people, what we do in our daily lives that have the power to create healthy, positive, karmic energetic frequency that literally circulates and comes right on back. Everything boomerangs. Whatever you give off, whatever you give out, via the thought, via the mind, via the action, via the physical capabilities, however that is, however that may apply, make sure it's positive. Because if it's not positive, it will literally create a karmic energetic frequency that has to come back in some way, some form, some shape. Whether it come back in this life or whether it take a turn right back around in the next life, it has to come back. And this is why it's important to know who you are. This is why it's important to know who you're praying to, who your God is, no matter who it is, Jehovah, Yahweh, Yahshua, Ali, Allah, I'm not going to say Ali, but Allah, and the list goes on. The list goes on. It is many different cultures, many different religions, many different ways of life. Make sure you are living in your truth, and make sure your truth is connected to God. Any form of judgment. If you are watching me speak and I offend you when I say my God is a higher power, and I don't identify myself with a specific name. When I say higher power, I mean higher power, the most ultimate power. That is me identifying with God, higher power, positive, optimistic, loving, caring, compassion. That is me identifying with God. I don't identify with all the names, the confusion. It's confusing. Why delve into that type of energy when it's only stemming from something that I was taught? The conditioning on that had to unravel myself from the negative energy that came along with that. My religion is better than your religion, so I'm going to try to make you feel less than because Jehovah is the God. Because that's who you're supposed to be saying. You don't try to manipulate people into believing the way you believe. You open the space, you give people opportunity to choose from and pick from whatever they want to pick from and become whoever they want to become. However they want to become it. My job is just to love you through it. Because I love you. You know? And that's all of our job is really supposed to be, to hold the space, to love people, not to judge people. That is the most lessest form of God. And I'm telling you, because you can make light your God or you can make dark your God. That's what the choice, that's why will is in place. You have the willpower to push on any aspect of the spectrum you choose to. You could pick, you could choose from the light side of the spectrum or the dark side of the spectrum. I'm just saying, we in an upside down world. We was taught so much stuff upside down, and you gotta have the an attunement, an atonement to be in the willingness to want to learn which it feels right for your soul. Because I must admit, some of us came here to be the light. Some of us came here to be the dark. And that's where the challenge is at. Because you once were the dark if you are light. And you once were the light if you are dark. And so you have to learn who you are. And this is why I always say, when you revert back to inner self, inner world, inner mind, inner wisdom, not the exterior. The exterior is for distraction. The exterior will pull you away from your goals, will pull you away from learning who you are. And once you create balance in learning who you are, mind and soul, you won't feel confused. You won't feel like I can't speak and mean what I say and say what I mean. You won't be able to live from the most authentic version of who you are. You won't. It'll always be something to trick you, something to make you confused, make you feel like something ain't right, which is your truth, which is your mind, your thoughts, right? Because the closer you get to God, the closer you get to God's mind, which is higher consciousness, higher conscious state of mind, the closer you allow yourself to rise to that level of thinking and being, the further away you grow from being a demon, from being negative, from being in a negative state of mind, from thinking pessimistic. And that right there is a disease. It will embody you and have you thinking life can't be more than what you see. Excuse me, you just gonna think I'm gonna let you control my thoughts, control the way I view my own reality? No, because you have control over you when you learn you, and you're not allowing something exterior to who you are to control your mind, control your thoughts, and control your life. Because once you give your power away, sometimes in so many cases and ways, it's a fight to get it back. It's a fight to get it back because now you're confused with, should I love him or should I let him go? Should I keep him or should I stay? Should I leave? How have you been compromised? What has the challenge been for you to even think? Get to that point of thinking you should stay or you should leave. Anything that's making you confused in that space, you should leave anyway. I'm just saying, this is for somebody. This is for somebody. And once you learn who you are, you will learn to connect to all the talents, all the gifts that God has for you. Because it's a challenge in learning who you are when you are caught up on the surface of life. All the things, the cars, the houses, the clothes, the jewelry, the things. All the things that will make you feel like I want to be a part of a materialistic realm. I want to go get this money so I can get this thing so I can look like I'm this to the eyes. How do you feel after you get all of that stuff? Most people don't even feel complete. They feel incomplete after they get all the things they need and all the things they want. And then there's still a sense of feeling lack. Something is still missing. So I don't want to live anymore. And that's been a lot of people, a lot of wealthy people, ways of escaping their life. They just leave this place in a way that they probably never chose in the first place. Well, I will be back to speak and have a serious talk with y'all again. But my beautiful, spirited, handsome son is sitting here waiting for me to get off this video. So I will be back soon. Be looking out for this next video that's going to be posted. Okay? And yeah, I love my look. Fall in love with you. Fall in love with you. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with that. But before I get off here, let's say a little quick prayer. Higher power, I know that you have sent me and sent so many people into this earthly realm, even if they don't know who they are, but mostly they do, the chosen ones. You have sent us here, no matter if it's the smallest thing that we're supposed to do is to shift the consciousness of this planet. Put in our hearts, put in our souls, put in our minds the ability to feel confident, the ability to feel light from the thoughts and the stressful conditions of life, to help us, put us in a mindful, strong mental place to help us move outside of the confines of emotions and help us move into the realm of being able to move past the hurt, move past the pain, move past the sadness, move past the restrictions that we feel that our perception is of the restriction. Help us reevaluate our perceptions as well. Help us open our minds and our hearts and our souls up to something much more greater as you, much more greater. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen. And Ashe. Well, I will see y'all soon in the next video, so be looking out for the next video. Mwah.